Hey guys, Ivan here with the Old School Apps, and I just want to say what a photo right here. Blessing Awodibu and Greene doing some arms together. There is a video on YouTube on Redcon1 YouTube channel. You can check it out if you want. I'm gonna show you a few parts of it, but before we get to that, let's just focus on this photo right here for a second. And we also have another physique update of Blessing Awodibu, or rather a body fat percent check. So here you can see that arms of these two guys are looking huge, but Kai looks amazing. I mean, for somebody who has been retired for how many, 5 years now, I don't think he looks any smaller than before. And I think he looks bigger than like a year ago or the previous pose that we saw of him. So right now he's training hard. He's probably doing more everything, and he looks better. So I don't know if he's just doing this for cosmetic purposes or for some kind of business endeavor that he plans on doing, or he just wants to compete again at the Mr. Olympia stage. I mean, it's very unrealistic at this point and everybody's getting pissed off when you even mention this, but imagine if he actually did it in the end. He would regain the respect of so many bodybuilding fans, especially if he did well. What would people say then? They wouldn't be talking about how he was teasing us and then lying to us. They would actually say he took 5 years off and he improved or whatever. He took his rest mentally and physically, and then he came back better and like won the Mr. Olympia or whatever he did. So if he actually competes this year, which is not entirely impossible, he looks like he's getting ready for something. He would clear his name, and I think it's very likely he's gonna do it actually. I know, I probably am, and I usually am, overly optimistic, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, as you must have noticed, Blessing Awodibu is in these videos as well, and he looks absolutely huge. Like, I thought Kai was much bigger than him, but no, not really. And Blessing is a little bit taller, so even though he's a rookie this year, he never really competed as a pro, he's not really to be underestimated against guys like Nick Walker. Because take a look at the size of this guy, I mean, like, and the shape. Look at the back when he's walking there. It just looks insane. Yeah, he has big arms, but they're not exactly peaky. You know, he doesn't have those peaky biceps like Kai or like Nick Walker, for example. So he has the size, but that's kind of I wouldn't say a weak point. He has long muscle bellies, but he doesn't really have those super peaky biceps. And for that reason, you may think that Kai has better arms, but really, I mean, it's not the size problem, it's just the shape. I wouldn't even call it a problem, it's just a different shape. But to be honest, how many conclusions can you actually make based on those videos under that lighting that was rather flattering? Here you can see his abs, and you can basically get an idea of his body fat percent. So you can see that for 9 weeks out, yeah, he's great. He's definitely great. I just hope he's gonna keep improving on this. I hope he's not gonna hit the plateau in a couple of weeks and just stop right there. He's working with Chad Nichols, and that guy has a lot of experience and a lot of success. Also, he had success with some stubborn physiques when it comes to getting in shape, like Big Ramy. First time he kind of missed the mark at the Arnold Classic, but then for the Mr. Olympia, he was his best ever. So he knows what he's doing, and I don't think his physique is as stubborn as Big Ramy's as far as losing body fat percent and losing body fat and actually getting rid of the water and everything like that. And also you guys need to consider the fact that Blessing Awodibu was prepping for Arnold Classic Australia last year, which was cancelled. So he was prepping for that show and he probably had a nice rebound. He didn't have to diet down completely to the point where he loses some muscle, so he just had probably a really good rebound. And there has been like how many, 2 years since his last show when he turned pro, so it's gonna be a big improvement for this guy, and you can see it, like he looks huge. It's just gonna come down to body fat percent, and I think he has that under control. And I also think that he's gonna look absolutely insane, freaky. I just don't know how well will he do against the other pros, but is he gonna look amazing? Are we gonna be blown away with his physique on that stage? I think so. I really think so. I think it's going to be one of those moments when we make our predictions after seeing him, saying he's the future Mr. Olympia and stuff like that. I'm expecting that, to be honest. Whatever you guys think, tell me down below. Next up, we have an update of Iain Valliere, and this is just a bathroom selfie, but you can get the idea of how big this guy actually is right now. And you can see him training, and he's lifting a lot of heavy weights. And I know that after the Olympia, he talked about this on a podcast. He said that he went off completely of everything, but he was still, lifting heavy, trying to progress in reps, in weights. Nothing too crazy, he didn't do a lot of volume, but now, apparently, since he started pushing things like really hard, he's probably on a new cycle, and he wants to make new gains, and I don't know how much bigger can this guy actually get. If you would show this physique to somebody who doesn't really follow bodybuilding and you told him that this guy is actually like doing everything he can to grow more, because he needs to get more, like he needs to get bigger, he needs to gain more muscle to place better in a competition, people would be like, what the hell are you talking about? Where can he put on more muscle? Like, this is already freaking insane. But actually on the stage you will see some flaws, like his chest can be fuller, and especially like in the frontal bicep, in lat spread too, in side chest, side triceps, quarter turns, his chest looks good, right? In his pose right here, like when he's just standing relaxed on the side. But when he lifts his arms up, when the chest stretches, it doesn't look that full. So he can definitely grow his chest a little bit more, and he knows that. Yeah, that's his weak point. He works on that a lot. And also his back. His back can be thicker and wider. So he's working on those two things probably the most. Everything else is just, I don't know, spot on. And he has the maturity. He has that kind of grainy look. It's probably because he's super strong. And he's really focused. I like to see that. He's like really focused. He really wants to improve. He's full-time bodybuilder. Like that's all he does. That's all he likes to do. He's not like an entrepreneur or anything like that. He coaches a few people, but that's probably just because he likes it and he makes some extra money. But what he focuses on the most is bodybuilding. Like he's a true hardcore bodybuilder. All in, all eggs in one basket. And for that reason, I have no doubt that this guy's gonna reach the top, right? I don't know if he can actually win the Mr. Olympia, but be in the top 5, top 3 maybe even. Sure, I can see that happening. What do you guys think? Okay, now this guy. And I don't know, I'm getting pissed off when I see these photos of this guy, because he looks freaking, I don't know, just crazy. And he's not in IFBB Pro League. I would just love to see him compared to the other guys, because take a look at those muscle bellies, man. Take a look at the symmetry. Like every single body part on his physique is looking perfect. Like what else would you add? What would you change to this physique? I don't see it. I mean, he's tall as well. Like, he's not a short guy. So, I mean, the legs. The legs were kind of a weak point for him before, but they grew as well. Like, look at the inner part and the outer sweep and the shape, like the symmetry of the proportions and everything. Like, vastus medialis to lateralis, and every single detail on those quads, it's just proportionate, it's perfect. And the arms, look at the arms right here. Like, look at the sweep on the triceps and the length of the bicep and the peak of the bicep. Just, I don't know, I can talk about his physique for days. It just looks perfect. I would just love to see it on IFBB Pro League stage. He's been posting a lot of videos, a lot of stuff lately, and he's prepping for something. I don't know what is he prepping exactly for. I don't really follow Elite IFBB Pro, and I just don't really care so much. I mean, I care to see how he looks, but those competitions and those stages, not really relevant. I would love to see him in NPC or IFBB Pro League rather, and see what he does against the top pros, the very top pros. Wouldn't you guys love to see that? I mean, look at this photo as well. I mean, what the hell? What the hell, man? Look at the tricep right here. And it doesn't look scintilish at all. It looks natural. And it's, I don't think I ever saw this. Something similar to this, these kind of muscle bellies and these small joints, like look at the wrist right there, was Kevin Levroni, who was, of course, more complete bodybuilder on the stage. I'm sure Kevin Levroni at his best would beat Michal Krizanek, Krizo, if that's how you pronounce his name. But I don't think he had this kind of tricep pop and this kind of genetics. I don't think he had that kind of shape. Yeah, he was, shorter, thicker, probably more conditioned. Yeah, more conditioned. And Kevin was known for having the craziest arms. But, I mean, look at this guy. Look at the tricep pop. Did Kevin had this? I don't know. Maybe he had. It doesn't really matter. What I'm saying is that this guy has insane genetics. And I'm sure we would all love to see him in Pro League. Come on, man. Just do it. Switch over. I don't care how much you're getting paid over there. Fans want it. I mean, do you know what Mr. Olympia is? You can get to that point, I'm sure. Come on, do it. Alright, and after a while, we have a physique update of Juan Morrel, who kind of disappointed us. Not kind of, who really disappointed us at a Mr. Olympia. He was probably one of the least impressive bodybuilders on that stage. He lost a lot of size. I think he promised he's gonna be competing, but then something, I don't know, came up, and then he just decided to do it because he made a promise. Like he said it online, and that's why he kept his word. But he couldn't get to his normal, I wouldn't say shape. He was decently conditioned, but he wasn't as full as he can be. And right here, he seems to have been training hard, improving. So he says he went from 244 to 265. So he gained 20 pounds, which is great, yeah, but I would love to see him in like 300 range in the off season, and then to see him really big, really full on stage. Now he looks very lean right here. I don't know what he's doing. I know this guy has like the fastest, the craziest metabolism ever, and that he can do whatever the hell he wants, and he still gets in shape. The only problem for him is fullness on the stage, not really conditioning. And of course, in the off season, we want to see him get bigger. So I don't know how many years does he plan on competing more. He has been competing for a while, and he kind of, I mean, he really did well at some points, but I don't know. He doesn't have the potential. Come on, to be like the top Olympian. He doesn't have the legs for it. So maybe he decided to take it easy and like taper off of competing, not really try to become Mr. Olympia or to place in a top 6 or something like that. Maybe he could do it, but I don't know. How many years can you really push it so hard and keep trying if you're not really getting there year after year? I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate on that, even though I already have. Anyways, this is his physique right now. Whatever you guys think, tell me down below, and we'll see what he's gonna do, if he's gonna compete again or not. And finally, we get to this dude right here. His name is Brad Castleberry, and he is known for lifting fake weights, for being trolled by Kenny KO. But if you ignore the fact that he kind of made fool out of himself with those fake weights and his behavior, basically, like him or hate him, you cannot deny his physique. He has a physique, he has a lot of muscle, and he has pretty good aesthetics. And now in this post that he made, he mentioned something about competing in classic physique, and being as egotistical as he is, he doesn't say he wants to try classic physique. He actually talks about Mr. Olympia 2021 this year and classic physique. So is that really possible for somebody who never really competed as a classic physique to actually get to that level in like less than 1 year? No, I don't think so. But does he has the potential to win a pro card in classic physique? I think so. I don't know about his weight, but if this is if he can actually fit the weight cap, if he diets down completely from this point, then sure, yeah. I mean, it's not a bad looking physique, and there are other pros who look much worse than this. And like, if he did a pro show like this, how well would he do? I would just love to see him next to the other guys. He doesn't really have some crazy genetics when it comes to aesthetics, but I'm sure he can change that. He can alter it with posing if he really wants to learn how to pose like a classic guy. Overall, like, not super aesthetic physique, but if this fits the weight cap, and if he can actually get lean enough, conditioned enough, I think it's a decent genetics enough to of course to win a pro card. I don't think that's a problem. I think he can do that rather easily. But if he competed at a pro show, I think there is a solid opportunity for him to do well. To get to the Mr. Olympia, not in a year, of course. Probably never, because it's really hard, to get to the Mr. Olympia stage. But there are some guys at the Mr. Olympia stage in classic physique who don't look very classic, very aesthetic. I mean, who don't look very good. And I think maybe he can battle those guys. So anyways, guys, tell me what you think about him and his potential in classic physique and anything else from this video that I mentioned before. Just tell me down below in the comment section. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this. All the best, guys, and keep it old school.